Hey all. Hi. Just gonna make sure this is live. While I am refreshing that page, I am Jasmine Partita. I'm the owner of Partita Strategies, and I am a business strategist and technology expert. And so a lot of what I do is help people come up with their strategies for their work, for their entrepreneur, for their new business, for their social media. That's a big thing. I do is a lot of digital marketing. So I wanted to come on here today. Oh, good, I'm cool, I'm live. So I wanted to come on here today and give you my 6-step plan for pivoting your career. So when I first left high school, what I did is I actually went to a liberal arts school and I did technical theater. I went to school for technical theater. So I was a scenic charge artist. So if you picture that if you go to a play, which of course we're not doing right now, but like Hamilton, right? The set, I would have painted the set. I would have been in charge of painting the set and the crew and working with the carpenters and the production staff. So my job was painting the big backdrops and the scenic elements for different theatrical and operatic and dance productions. So once I had kids though, that became really unsustainable of a career choice because of the long hours, working at night, working on weekends, with two kids under three. I couldn't sustain those hours and I wasn't making enough money and I had to make a big shift in my career. So what I'm going to do now is give you the 6 steps that I took so that you, and I know a lot of people are going through this, but so that you are empowered to do that yourself if you need to. Because what I find is right now is a lot of people are very, they're unsure what business moves to make, what career moves to make. They're not 100% sure where to go from here. And they're not sure what the world will look like in 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. So a couple of things, and I'll come back to that part in a little bit because it is slightly different during a pandemic, but the process is very similar and that you can actually be using this time now to get yourself ready to be where you need to be no matter what the economy looks like in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. So the first thing is to sit down and write out a list of skills that you have in your current position. So if that means that it's like for me, it was project management was a big one, or Photoshop, which is a skill not everybody has. Being able to thrive in a fast-paced environment. Theater is a very fast-paced environment. So I sat down and I wrote out all the skills that I had that could possibly transfer to other careers. And to be honest, I actually made a whole list of all the skills I could think of. And then I went through and highlighted the ones I was pretty sure were a little outside of theater and just things that could be useful other places. So now take that list and put it aside for a second and put that aside and then make a list of identifying what your dream job would have, because it doesn't make sense to change jobs into another bad situation. If you're changing jobs, something's not right about where you are. If it's the company, if it's the management style, if it's like in theater, like I said, it was long hours and late nights. So write down what you need out of a job. Like, what does your dream job have? This can't be a very long list. It's like buying a house. Yeah, I want all these things, but you really only get a couple of them. You have to compromise on a lot of other things. So what are the things that you're not willing to compromise on in your career as you move forward? For me, it was being able to work part-time from home, which is part of why I started going after the digital design, because I knew I could do a lot of that design work at home and I could do it on flexible hours around the kids, frankly, nap and food schedules because they were little at the time. They're not little anymore. So make a list of those like top 3 things that you need your new job to have. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take both of those lists and you're going to go onto Indeed, onto Craigslist, onto Work for Good, onto Glassdoor, go onto all of those sites and use those as search terms, as keywords, and search out and see what kind of career options you might have, what kind of positions come up, and start identifying and getting a sense of what kind of jobs align with both the skills that you have and the type of career that you want, the type of life balance that you are looking for in your job. So you put those 2 lists together, you do this search, like I said, like terms, and you start making out a list of different job possibilities and kind of mull it around. So for me, I had a whole bunch of things. Construction, project management was one that kept coming up for me. But it didn't allow me to work from home part-time. And that was one of my deal breakers, is I needed to be able to work from home at least part-time. So that's where I ended up going the direction that I did. So really make sure you've got your skill set that you have, your couple of deal breakers, search your job list. And then the next step the fifth step is actually identifying a few jobs that you know you want. So I got it down to a list of maybe 10 different job possibilities that I was interested in. So I sat down and I laid out those jobs, and I started searching more and more job listings with those job titles and variations of those job titles. So let's say it was marketing manager. So I started looking at, marketing coordinating, marketing director, kind of looking at the different levels within the same job, so that I could understand what the journey of that career is, and I could have a sense of where I would be going. And what you do from there, though, is you're going to look at the job list, and frankly, women are especially guilty of this. If you look at it, you think, I don't have all these skills. Well, that's okay, right? What I did is, you have to know first off that you're never going to have all the skills listed on a job application. You're never going to have all of them, and it is okay to take that jump before you have all the skills. But the other piece of it is, you need to be okay taking time to learn some of those skills. So I personally, what I did when I was in this process, and again, this was like 15 years ago, I guess, is I actually committed to an hour a day at the end of the day when everybody else was in bed. I would take an hour a day and I would learn for an hour. So I was learning coding, HTML, CSS, PHP, all the codes, and going through the different coding lessons. I was going through social media management. I was going through marketing. I was going through different design applications, in an hour a day. And if you go online, and this was true back then, and it's even more true now, is that there's a lot of free learning opportunities. Like Adobe, for example, has it's endless. I don't even know how many videos. It's a couple thousand training videos on their products, because they want people to use their products. Google has an entire academy. HubSpot has an academy. LinkedIn has online courses. So start picking up some of those skills and learning a couple of those things. If it's just a little bit of a bit of a pivot, you can do a lot of that through online learning. There's paid courses you can take as well, of course, right? And then from there, there's different things you can do through colleges to get certificates and things, so that you can start moving towards that career and working fast. If you want to go back to school full time and do it, it depends on the job. But a lot of these skills, if you look at the list you had before, even if it's a totally different type of industry, you're going to be able to transfer those skills over to your new career and your new industry. It's more about having the confidence to do that. So look at online training after you've identified some jobs, and just lay out a timeline. I want to be able to start applying for jobs in a month. Okay, these are the 5 skills I want to learn, and work your way backward on a time schedule and commit to it for that month, that 2 months, that 3 months, whatever it is for you and what that looks like in your life. Just pick your launch date and work backwards on what you need to learn, and pick the top couple of skills that you're missing that you need to learn to fill out those job applications and feel confident applying for those jobs. So here's the other side of it, though. This is step 6. Step 6 is that I have a summit coming up at the end of the month, and it's through me and Fair and Factual, When Women Speak, the podcast, and then through Fund Her, which is a organization helping get women elected to office. And so we're coming together, and we've got 5 tracks of information, and one of them is entrepreneur. So, and it's actually listed on my Facebook page here. So I brought together 5 entrepreneurs who already have successful businesses to do one track of entrepreneur lessons, so that you can actually learn how to launch your own business or make that career pivot. So I've got Chandra Brooks, who I just listened to her podcast episode, How to Make 40,000 in a Month, because she does, which is, she's just amazing. She runs a Powerhouse Women Academy. And then we've got, and she's a TED Talk speaker. And I've got Leona, who her clients will literally, Leona Mendoza, her clients double their income after working with her. And she's going to talk to you about leading with confidence. So that's, if you're struggling a little bit on confidence, these are the 2 speeches to come to. Next, I've got Carmen, who actually talks about building your legacy and your financial footing, and really getting yourself in a place that legally and financially you're ready to stand on your own confidently, because you've got all your ducks in a line. That's Carmen, and she's speaking on building your financial footprint. And then Christine Downs, she's the host of the international podcast Notable Women, and she's got a community of like 20,000. And she's going to talk about, her title is Disrupt Your Thoughts, Remake Your Life. So I've got that one on my little thing I want to go to. And then I've got Charisse Orange, who actually designed all the graphics for the conference itself. And she's doing a talk about how to embody your brand and how to understand what that is. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. or the comments of this video, but I'm hoping you'll join us. It's going to be really exciting. It's July 25th, and it's going to get you ready to make these pivots and to make these career changes and to really go to that next level with what you're doing, or launch your own business, break out on your own. Chandra's talk is actually called the Powerhouse Plan to Leave Your 9-to-5. So the whole summit, the whole idea is to hand over information and empower women to make the choices that work best for them and their families. And so this is just one step, taking these notes, getting this information, and then enacting it and putting it into action and taking real meaningful action in your life and in your career and creating change in your community and in your family. So I hope you'll join us. I'm going to be coming on every day at lunch to do a little snippet and talk about a different set of speakers we have. But today is Entrepreneur. I'll put the poster again in the comments, and I hope to see you there. Let me know if you have any questions.